Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, and apologies for the premature rise. But I suppose I'm probably as good as any authority on Bonolev, being I'm a Vasufi from Bonolev. And I did notice that the leader of opposition was wanting to stand up as well. But levity aside, sir, let me just, as well on behalf of its august house, welcome the students from Marist Brothers Primary School. It was actually a rival school to my school, which is Suva Methodist Primary School. And we welcome you here today and hope you will learn something from your house. In Parliament, sometimes we are a bit loud in this house, but trust me, it's done in the spirit of trying to serve our country. Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand before you here today to provide an update in terms of the efforts being undertaken regarding ICT development by the do-nothing government, sir, including the recent announcement of Starlink officially commencing its services in Fiji. This marks a significant milestone for our nation as the highly anticipated introduction of Starlink satellite technology is indeed a game changer, particularly in further empowering remote, maritime, and underserved communities. This also demonstrates the increased confidence of global companies in Fiji and in the region, as evidenced by Google's extension of subsea cable connections to Fiji and the region. These strategic engagements and developments tangibly contribute to the coalition's goal of diversifying the economy of Fiji, rebuilding the economic architecture of Fiji, progressing into a more digital economy, and cementing Fiji as the hub of the Pacific. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to inform this august house that we are making more progress in this regard. Mr. Speaker, sir, regarding Starlink, and to provide some background, in November last year, Starlink was actually issued with a spectrum license by the Ministry of Trade, Cooperatives, SMEs, and Communications, and a telecommunications license by the Telecommunications Authority of Fiji. Following this, Starlink was then to carry out the necessary compliance procedures and arrangements to operationalize in Fiji. Mr. Speaker, sir, the use of satellite technology is not new, as our service providers have been employing the use of satellite technology through partnerships with OneWeb, Intelsat, and Pacific to progressively connect our unconnected rural communities. But what is new is that now our people can directly utilize the services of a satellite provider, and currently only Starlink has acquired a license to do that in Fiji. If you like, Mr. Speaker, sir, as we say in Telugu, it's the democratization of communications globally. Mr. Speaker, sir, you will also hear me throughout the statement reference LEOs, or LEOs for short, which is the acronym for a category of satellites known as low Earth orbiting satellites. This category of satellites, as the name suggests, fly closer to the Earth compared to other satellites, at around 200 kilometers above the Earth, as opposed to 1,200 kilometers above the Earth. Starlink and OneWeb are LEOs. Pacific, which also is used in Fiji by our service providers, is part of another category of satellites known as GEOs, or Geo Orbit Satellites. The benefits of LEOs extend beyond high-speed internet. Its resilience during emergencies and capacity for rapid disaster recovery are particularly noteworthy. And in the Fiji context, this is quite significant. Unlike traditional land-based infrastructure, which can be severely damaged by natural disasters, LEO satellites network remained generally unaffected. This was demonstrated firsthand when Starlink reconnected our neighbors, Tonga, after the 2022 Hunga volcanic eruption, which severed over 200 kilometers of its vital undersea cable communications, cutting off its link to the world. The length of the severed cable link was roughly the distance between Suva and Nadi through the Queen's Highway. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am pleased to announce that as of the 20th of May, our people can now directly subscribe to Starlink services via their company's website. We had anticipated this news would come earlier, sir. However, due to some logistical and operational challenges in preparing to operationalize, there was a delay between the approval and them starting on the ground. Mr. Speaker, sir, on the regulatory front, I understand that during this period, some individuals and businesses had purchased Starlink kits from abroad, and Starlink is currently working with the Telecommunications Authority of Fiji to ensure that all Starlink devices and services operating in Fiji are compliant with our regulations. I see from the Starlink website that there are packages available for personal and business use already. And I am sure that this will catapult internet in our underserved regions, providing new opportunities for education, health, business, and personal communication. I would also like to urge our local telecommunication operators to take advantage of the opportunities presented by Starlink's entry into our market. I understand that our providers have been partnering with other satellite providers to provide this connectivity to remote and rural communities. By leveraging this technology, operators have further options to provide backhaul services to areas that were previously unreachable or prohibitively expensive to connect. This collaboration will further enhance our national connectivity and will contribute to ensure that no region is left behind in our digital transformation journey. However, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is also important to note that satellite internet connectivity through LEOs is not a panacea to all our challenges in providing meaningful communication to our people. Like everything in life, sir, it has advantages and disadvantages. While satellite connectivity is pivotal, has a pivotal role, particularly in reaching the most remote areas and especially in disaster management, terrestrial communication technologies plays an equally critical role in our national connectivity. Terrestrial communication technologies such as fiber optic networks and cellular infrastructure are advancing rapidly. Two of our service providers are making significant strides in this area and are continuing their 5G testing right now and providing live user trials. Mr. Speaker, sir, in November last year, I briefed Parliament on Google's South Pacific Connect initiative in Fiji. And today, I would like to share an update on the ongoing efforts. The Ministry, through our Trade Commission in San Francisco, and the team in Investment Fiji have been working closely with Google to ensure that adequate assistance is provided as Google works to complete regulatory compliances and further engagements in Fiji. I had recently led a trade mission to North America as part of the North America Business Mission, where the key members of the Fiji delegation met with representatives of the Google network infrastructure for a project update. Google's Vice President of Global Network Infrastructure was one of the keynote speakers at the North American Business Forum that was held in San Francisco on the 8th of May. And this shows the company's commitment, not only in terms of its investment in Fiji, but also being a reputable partner, showcasing Fiji's capabilities to potential investors. Alongside this, our Director General Digital Government Transformation, Cybersecurity and Communications, was attending a cyber and tech retreat and was initiating discussions with the Google Vice President Government Affairs on other areas of collaboration, utilizing new emerging technologies, also artificial intelligence. These demonstrate, Mr. Speaker, sir, that a coordinated and extensive, this demonstrates the coordinated and extensive approach that we are taking. I am looking forward to many more collaborative strategic partnerships and initiatives as a result of this. In addition to the Honamoana and Tambua subsea cables that was recently announced, the Google has also announced that it will deliver 2 new intra-Pacific cables, namely the Mbulikula and Halaihai, in collaboration with ATH, APT Telecom, and Telstra to increase digital connectivity in the Central Pacific. The Mbulikula cable will connect Guam with Fiji and potentially onward to Southeast Asia, while the second cable will link Guam, French Polynesia, through Fiji and onward potentially to South America, and this will form a ring between Guam, French Polynesia, and Fiji, while connecting Fiji to Australia and the US. The ring will also include pre-positioned branching units, Mr. Speaker, sir, that will allow other Pacific Island countries to set up connections, a second connection. This, Mr. Speaker, sir, will make Fiji truly the hub of the Pacific and continue this government's desire to create benefits for all. Mr. Speaker, sir, I am pleased to share the promising future that the subsea internet investment has for our nation. According to a report entitled Connecting Fiji, the Opportunity for Growth, Prosperity from Subsea Cable Investment, Internet Investment, by a company called Access Partnership, the new subsea cable infrastructure is set to significantly enhance our economic output through increased internet usage by reducing IP transit prices and network latency. A more dynamic local subsea cable market is projected to lower IP transit prices by 1.4% annually, spurring higher internet data traffic growth by at least 0.9% each year. These advancements are estimated to boost our global GDP by US $295 million by 2030 and create nearly 3,600 jobs, representing 1% of our 2019 figures. Investing in subsea internet infrastructure is a significant step towards a more prosperous and connected Fiji. These initiatives reiterate the coalition government's understanding that a resilient and modern ICT infrastructure is the backbone of any digital transformation in Fiji. Therefore, we have earmarked various key government services to be digitized through the ongoing Business Now projects. Phase 1 will involve digitizing several starting business services, and Phase 2 involves automating the approvals through town and country planning, sir. This will truly transform how technology is being used in government. And the good news is we won't be stopping there. Through the platform that's being provided, which is called PhilPass, we will be able to digitize more of the licensing processes and permits across all the ministries quite rapidly. Apart from this, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a national digital strategy being developed for Fiji. In fact, Mr. Speaker, sir, next week, we are holding the validation workshop for the strategy. That is how fast we are moving in terms of digital transformation. We are also planning, at the commencement of the budget, to fully announce our desire to connect the unconnected around the country. We have a bit of money in the trust accounts, and we will put that to good use. Also inviting some development partners to top it up to ensure that we connect. One of the things that is becoming quite obvious as well is with this improved ICT infrastructure or enhanced ICT infrastructure, we will need to position the education curriculum to be able to capture the benefits from this new emerging restructure, if you like, of the Fijian economy. And to the students of Maris Brothers, start looking for jobs in IT and technology. Mr. Speaker, sir, the vast adoption of digital technologies by our people, we are also mindful that this will also increase the threat landscape. Therefore, we are undertaking parallel efforts to bolster our cybersecurity efforts, and I will speak more on this in my response to the motion that the Honourable Attorney General will be tabling today on the adoption of the Budapest Convention. One thing is clear, Mr. Speaker, sir. These ICT developments reiterate the need for government to accede to the Budapest Convention, as it is the only international treaty dealing with cybercrime and electronic evidence. Mr. Speaker, sir, in closing, the entry of Starlink into Fiji's market, as well as Google's ongoing project and our digitization efforts, marks an exciting chapter in our efforts to expand internet access, improve connectivity, and make services accessible for all. These initiatives underscore our commitment to bridging the digital divide and ensuring that all of our people have the tools and opportunities to succeed in the digital age. The coalition government remains dedicated to supporting and fostering such advancements, and we look forward to the numerous benefits that these ICT developments will bring to our nation and to the region, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, together we are building a more connected, inclusive, prosperous Fiji, and by extension, a prosperous Pacific region. Thank you for this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you.